July 16th at 4:16 p.m., vertical bar rare moon near Saturn and Neptune, both retrograde, will change everything. What if the sky held a message just for you? On July 16th at exactly 4:16 p.m., something rare and powerful unfolds above us. The moon draws near both Saturn and Neptune, while both planets are in retrograde. This isn't just another astrological moment, it's a cosmic mirror, quietly reflecting back the parts of you that are ready to change. You may not see lightning bolts or hear anything crash, but something is shifting inside. This rare celestial alignment isn't here to shock you, it's here to awaken you. It asks a gentle but urgent question. Are you living in alignment with your truther, just going through the motions? In the next few minutes, we're going to explore why this moment is unlike any other this year. Why the moon's emotional pull, Saturn's karmic lessons, and Neptune's dreamy illusions all in retrograde, creating an energetic doorway for deep personal transformation. If you've been feeling emotionally off, strangely nostalgic, or pulled between clarity and confusion, you're not alone, and you're not broken. You're simply being invited to listen more closely than ever before. So, take a breath. Let's journey inward, through the sky's quiet wisdom and into your own. Number 1. What's happening in the sky? On July 16th, at exactly 4:16 p.m., the heavens open up to reveal a rare and potent alignment, an energetic turning point that quietly yet powerfully asks us to pause, reflect, and realign. This moment is marked by the moon forming a rare conjunction with Saturn and Neptune, two planetary giants currently in retrograde motion. While it might seem like a fascinating astronomical event on the surface, this is more than just a cosmic spectacle. It is a moment of profound inner recalibration. These three celestial bodies are aligning in a way that touches not just the outer universe, but the inner universe within each of us. Their combined energy acts like a mirror, reflecting hidden truths and prompting deep emotional and spiritual inquiry. This is not a coincidence. This is a designed moment, what many would call a cosmic checkpoint. And just as the moon pulls the tides, it now tugs at the deepest parts of our emotional and energetic being. Let's begin with Saturn, the stern teacher of the cosmos. As it moves in retrograde, Saturn isn't concerned with what you want to hear, it brings to the surface what you need to face. Saturn governs responsibility, structure, discipline, and karmic consequences. So when it appears to move backward, it's a call to revisit old decisions, outdated habits, or unbalanced commitments. Have you been working tirelessly in areas that offer no nourishment? Are you upholding obligations that drain you instead of strengthen you? This retrograde asks us to pause and examine where our energy is being spent and whether we're operating from a place of inner truth or external expectation. It's an invitation to draw firmer boundaries and realign with a more sustainable path of integrity. Now enter Neptune, the planet of dreams, illusions, intuition, and spiritual insight. When Neptune is in retrograde, it's as if the fog begins to lift. The fantasies we've clung to, the stories we've told ourselves to avoid discomfort, these start to crumble. But this isn't a harsh unveiling. Neptune reveals truths in a soft, gentle way, like moonlight on water. During this time, your intuition becomes sharper and your emotional awareness deepens. You may suddenly recognize where you've been deceived by others, or perhaps more significantly, by your own hopes and denial. This planetary motion doesn't take away your dreams, it simply asks you to build them on a more honest foundation. And then the moon, the ever-changing, ever-feeling celestial body, comes into this mix as an emotional amplifier. In alignment with both Saturn and Neptune, the moon brings everything to the surface. Feelings you've buried, realizations you've avoided, desires you've suppressed, they rise. not to overwhelm you, but to be seen, heard, and honored. It's important to understand that when the moon aligns with retrograde planets, it's not about chaos, it's about clarity. It creates a gateway where confusion and insight exist side by side, where endings and beginnings blend into one continuous movement of transformation. This rare alignment forms a sacred triangle in the sky, and its energy can be felt as both a reckoning and a release. You may find yourself suddenly aware of what no longer fits in your life, whether it's a belief, a habit, a relationship, or even a version of yourself you've outgrown. These planetary forces are not here to punish. They are here to realign you with your truth. The discomfort you feel is not a warning sign, it's a wake-up call. It's the universe gently, yet firmly, showing you what needs to fall away so that something wiser, deeper, and more sustainable can take root. As the clock strikes 4:16 p.m. on July 16th, take a moment to slow down. This is not a time for rushing or forcing. It is a time for listening to the sky, yes, but more importantly, to yourself. What messages are surfacing in your heart? What truths are making themselves known? This alignment marks both an ending and a beginning, a shedding and a seeding. Trust the timing. Trust what is being revealed. The cosmos is not outside of you, it moves with you. And this moment, rare as it is, invites you to move forward with greater clarity, deeper wisdom, and a renewed sense of inner alignment. Number 2, inner and spiritual impact, what you'll actually feel. You may not see it with your eyes, but something is quietly shifting in the energetic fabric of the universe. As the moon draws near Saturn and Neptune, both in retrograde, subtle yet powerful current begins to stir beneath the surface. This isn't just about the movement of planets, it's about the movement within you. It's a call from the cosmos, not to look up, but to look inward. Because the truths you've been avoiding, the feelings you've been silencing, they're no longer content to stay hidden. This energy reaches deep into our emotional and spiritual core. It's not just about astrology, about what you're feeling right now, what's been stirring beneath the surface, and what's finally ready to rise. So, ask yourself, what truth have I been avoiding? What weight have I been silently carrying, pretending it doesn't exist? This moment brings what's hidden to the light, not to punish you, but to free you. When Saturn and Neptune go retrograde, especially under the intuitive gaze of the moon, we enter a kind of inner reckoning. It's like emotional gravity increases. You feel heavier, more sensitive, perhaps even disoriented. You might wake up with a pit in your stomach or feel a rush of emotion out of nowhere. That's not random. This is what we call an inner unraveling, where layers peel back and the truths you've buried deep start to demand attention. Think about those patterns you've tried to ignore: old relationships, quiet resentments, dreams you've set aside. Suddenly, they appear in your thoughts, in your dreams, in unexpected conversations. Why now? Because the cosmic energy is creating a psychic spotlight, showing you exactly where your soul has been whispering for change. One of the most intense feelings during this time will be what I call the silent wait. That moment when you realize you've been emotionally invested in something that isn't giving back. Saturn retrograde is known for revealing these imbalances. Have you been overgiving at work without recognition? Staying loyal to someone or something that doesn't honor your truth? Holding on, fixing, hoping while the other side barely shows up? That's not failure. That's Saturn's lesson, to pause and reevaluate where your energy is going. Are you truly building something, or just working overtime to hold something broken together? The answer might hurt at first, but it also sets you free. Then comes Neptune, the dreamer. When retrograde, Neptune doesn't confront, it confuses. It feeds you soft lies. It's fine, don't cause trouble. Just agree it's easier. And yet deep down, You know those moments when you said yes just to avoid the discomfort. Maybe it was a conversation you didn't have, a decision you delayed, a truth you silenced to keep someone else comfortable. This is where Neptune retrograde becomes a spiritual mirror. Suddenly, all those little compromises resurface, not to shame you, but to remind you that fake peace is still a prison. When you trade your truth for harmony, there's always a cost. And now, that cost is becoming clear. Can you see where you've quietly betrayed your inner voice in the name of keeping things smooth? As we move closer to July 18th, the intensity may rise. Don't be alarmed if you feel emotionally raw or spiritually exposed. This is actually a cleansing. The universe isn't trying to break you, it's trying to realign you. So instead of resisting the discomfort, ask yourself, what is this emotion teaching me? What am I finally ready to see without filters or denial? Because this cosmic moment is not about outcome, it's about awareness. When you see clearly, even painful truths become liberating. Here's what you can take from this moment. First, emotional discomfort is not the enemy, it's a teacher. Second, fake peace is not worth your inner silence. And third, invest your time, heart, and energy only where they are honored and returned. These are the teachings of the Moon, Saturn, and Neptune when they converge in retrograde. To stop running from the truth, to stop clinging to illusions, and to stand in your integrity even when it's hard. The universe isn't asking you to have all the answers. It's only asking you to stop pretending you don't know the questions. So today, take a quiet moment and reflect. Where am I being asked to release, to speak, or to realign? Let this cosmic event be not a storm to survive, but a shift towards something truer. Because once the truth rises, there's no going back, and that's a blessing. Number 3. Listening to subtle inner truths. By the time the sky reaches 4:16 p.m. on July 16th, a quiet shift is already underway, not just in the stars, but in something much closer, the way you feel. The way you notice things you usually brush past, and the way old memories quietly resurface. You might not see anything dramatic happening above you, but something subtle, emotional, and deeply personal is unfolding inside. That's what I want to talk to you about today. The quiet truths that don't shout, but still change everything. So, I want to talk to you now about how this cosmic moment might be showing up in your life, not with fireworks, but in soft whispers, in the quiet discomforts, and in those deeply emotional moments that are often too easy to dismiss. You might feel like something's shifting, but you can't quite name it. That's not your imagination that's real. Right now, life might be quietly testing you in ways you don't even notice unless you slow down and pay attention. Think about the times recently when you've said yes to something that didn't feel right, just to avoid conflict or to keep the peace. Maybe you answered a message, not because you truly wanted to, but out of guilt, or you smiled and gave your time when you were already exhausted, thinking it was just easier than explaining how you really feel. These seem like tiny decisions, but they carry weight. That little feeling you get afterward, that unease, that tension in your chest that's not just stress, that's your inner wisdom, your intuition. It's trying to get your attention, to pull you back to alignment with what's true for you. This is not about being dramatic, it's about being honest with yourself, even in the smallest choices. You are being asked right now to stop sacrificing your truth for momentary comfort. And I know that's not easy, but this moment is not asking you to be perfect, it's asking you to listen. And maybe you've been feeling everything more intensely lately, like the world's just too loud, too fast, too crowded. Places and people that once brought you peace may suddenly feel overwhelming. Simple conversations might drain you more than they used to. You're not broken, you're not becoming overly sensitive. What's really happening is that your nervous system is finally telling the truth. It's not overreacting, it's waking up. You are sensing what's no longer aligned with your well-being, and that awareness might feel like too much, but it's actually a sign of deep healing. So if you feel the urge to retreat, to unplug, to sit in silence, honor it. You're not avoiding life. You're protecting the parts of you that are finally learning to feel safe enough to speak up. Your stillness right now is sacred. And let's talk about something many of us do, often without realizing it, trying to manifest from a place of fear. This cosmic alignment is like a mirror. It reflects not just what you want, but why you want it. So ask yourself honestly, are you chasing success, money, or love because you're inspired or because you're afraid? Are you trying to attract something to avoid feeling empty, alone, or unsafe? This energy right now will reveal what's beneath your desires, and it won't let illusions stay hidden. When our intentions are driven by fear, the energy we send out is cloudy and anxious. But when we come from a grounded place, from clarity, from wholeness, everything starts to flow. So instead of saying, "I need this to feel okay," shift to, "I already am okay, and from that place, I choose." That change in mindset is powerful. It stops the desperate chase and opens the door to receiving. So as you move through this week, remember this: the emotional heaviness you may be feeling is not a flaw. It's not something to fix. It's a signal that your internal compass is being recalibrated. Let yourself feel without rushing to analyze or correct anything. Trust that your body and your spirit are already guiding you home gently, surely, and in perfect time. If you've watched up to this point, you're already tuned in to the powerful cosmic shifts unfolding right now. Comment below with "Cosmic Awakening" to affirm your readiness to align with this rare planetary energy. Don't click away, there's still deep insight ahead that could transform how you navigate the days to come. Stay until the end to discover how this rare alignment can shift everything in your life. Number 4. Communication and misunderstandings. As the moon draws close to both Saturn and Neptune, and both planets are in retrograde, which means their usual energies are turned inward, stirring reflection, confusion, and a deep need for emotional processing. This planetary trio: Saturn, the stern teacher that brings limits and lessons; Neptune, the dream, weaver that clouds and dissolves; and the moon, our emotional mirror, creates an energetic environment where communication becomes especially strained. You may find yourself carrying a heart full of feeling, yet when you try to speak, nothing comes out quite right. Maybe it's too much too fast. Maybe it doesn't land the way you intend, or maybe you're simply left staring at someone who just doesn't get it. This experience isn't a personal failure or a weakness in your ability to connect, it's a cosmic echo. The universe is asking us to pause the performance of explanation and lean into feeling instead. During this time, many of you, especially those in the 30 to 65 age range, who often carry the weight of family, work, and unspoken emotions, may feel emotionally saturated but verbally paralyzed. You might sense that there's a deep storm inside you, yet when you try to articulate it, your words either crumble or explode. This is not uncommon under a moon amplified by Saturn's discipline and Neptune's haze. It creates what we could call an emotional bottleneck. Rather than trying to force yourself to make sense or explain your feelings perfectly, this is a moment to recognize that not every emotion is meant to be processed through language. Some truths are too deep for words; they need to be lived through, not translated. Instead of asking yourself to be understood, give yourself space to understand yourself first. Write what you feel, even if it's scattered. Move your body with a walk or stretch. Let tears fall if they come, and don't apologize for them. Even silent acts like deep breathing or creating something just for you without an audience can help release what words cannot carry. This isn't about escaping your emotions or avoiding people. It's about honoring the natural rhythm of your inner world, especially during times when the outer world feels confusing or unsupportive. In our modern culture, we are constantly pushed to explain, to be coherent, to give logical reasons for everything we feel. But this cosmic moment offers us a sacred pause. It says, you don't have to make your emotions digestible for others. You don't have to dress up your pain in perfect sentences. You don't have to perform healing to prove that you're making progress. Right now, authenticity is more important than articulation. When we allow ourselves to feel without needing to explain, we return to a place of deeper honesty, not just with others, but with ourselves. And in this kind of honesty, there is a strange kind of peace. It's not always comfortable, but it's real. Let your silence be a form of wisdom. Let your stillness speak louder than strained words. The people who are truly aligned with your journey will feel your truth, even if your words stumble, so trust that. Use this celestial alignment as a gateway to reconnect with yourself, not through noise but through presence. The world doesn't need you to be polished. It needs you to be real. Number 5. The retrograde delay effect. Right now, as the moon draws near both Saturn and Neptune while both are in retrograde, you may begin to feel something deeply familiar, yet strangely distant, resurfacing in your life. It's a strange phenomenon, often called the retrograde delay effect, where your own personal growth feels out of sync with those around you. Maybe you've done the hard work, you've faced your pain, grieved what needed to be grieved, drawn the line where you had to, and started walking a different path. You've changed genuinely, intentionally, and probably through no small amount of effort. But suddenly, someone from your past, maybe a friend, a partner, a family member, begins to spiral, reaching out to you as though no time has passed, as though you're still the version of yourself who would drop everything to fix, rescue, or emotionally carry them. Have you ever found yourself back in an old conversation only to realize you no longer belong in that emotional chapter? This is not a mistake, this is the retrograde energy at work. Retrogrades don't only rewind the motion of planets, they slow down emotional timelines too. So what you've already worked through, someone else might just now be facing. It's like finishing a long uphill journey, only to have someone call you back to the starting point, asking for directions you no longer need. And because they remember you from who you were before, maybe the version of you who couldn't say no, or who always absorbed the chaos, they might unintentionally pull at old patterns and expect you to return to a role you've outgrown. But here's the key truth. Just because someone else is starting the lesson doesn't mean you're meant to teach it again. So ask yourself gently, do I really need to go back to help them, or is it enough to simply stand firm in what I've learned? You don't need to reprove your growth by re-entering old storms. Compassion does not require regression. You can hold space for someone without abandoning your own peace. You can care without becoming their caretaker again. You've become the evidence of healing now. Let your grounded presence speak louder than your explanations. Be clear. Their emotional urgency is not your emergency. You're not being heartless for having boundaries. You're not selfish for choosing peace over drama. You're not cold for choosing stillness instead of entanglement. In fact, those choices show wisdom. They show that you now recognize the difference between helping and overextending, between love and self-sacrifice. So as this rare cosmic moment unfolds, with the moon illuminating old emotional ties and Saturn urging boundaries, while Neptune stirs the fog of confusion, remember this: your job is not to be dragged back into the past. You are meant to walk forward in the light of who you've become. Let their spiral be a reminder of how far you've come, not a summons to go back. Growth isn't just about changing. It's about staying changed, even when the past knocks at your door. So protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. That's the real message in this moment. You are allowed to move on, to grow beyond, and to keep walking without guilt. Number 6. Restlessness isn't chaos, it's awakening. Right now, as we approach the rare and powerful moment when the moon moves close to both Saturn and Neptune while they are retrograde, you may feel something stirring inside you, something hard to name but impossible to ignore. It could show up as restlessness, like you're uncomfortable in your own routine, even though nothing is obviously wrong. You might feel like you're pacing internally, starting tasks but abandoning them just as quickly, or drifting through your days with a strange, unsettled energy. But let me tell you, this isn't a crisis. This isn't chaos. This is awakening. What you're feeling is an inner activation, an energetic buildup that's quietly gathering strength below the surface. And while your logical mind may be confused, your intuition is starting to speak. Can you feel that pull, the soft urge to change something, even if you're not sure what that something is? That's your inner self waking up, inviting you to grow in a new direction, even if the path isn't clear yet. This restlessness is not a malfunction, it's your soul stretching. Often, we assume that discomfort means something's wrong, but in moments like this, the unease is actually a sign that something new is trying to be born inside of you. What if the anxiety you're feeling isn't fear, but fuel? What if it's not a sign to stop, but a quiet push forward into the next version of your life? So many of us wait for something dramatic to happen before we let ourselves change. But this rare cosmic energy is reminding you that real transformation can begin with a whisper, not a shout. That's why it's so important to start paying close attention to the little nudges, the draw you suddenly feel compelled to organize, the strange urge to reach out to someone from your past, the impulse to explore a hobby, move furniture, or shift your schedule. These aren't random. These small urges are hidden invitations. They may seem unimportant on the surface, but they're sacred signals. They are the subtle language of your soul, guiding you toward change without breaking everything apart first. So ask yourself, what keeps tugging at your awareness lately, even if it seems minor or irrational? Can you trust that following those small signals might lead you somewhere meaningful, even if the steps feel tiny? When Neptune is retrograde, our dreams become clearer in strange ways, while Saturn reminds us that real change comes from grounded action. The moon, sitting between these two forces, magnifies our emotions, so it's natural to feel a little off, even edgy. But instead of fighting the feeling, what if you leaned into it with curiosity? What if you said, "Okay, I'm listening," and followed one small thread today, just to see where it leads? Emotional maturity doesn't mean you never feel restless. It means you learn how to respond to it wisely. It means you don't wait for life to break down before you give yourself permission to shift. You listen before things fall apart. You act before pressure becomes pain. So if your routines no longer satisfy you, if your heart feels a little unsettled, don't rush to label it as a problem. Don't panic and don't push. Get still, get curious. Trust that what feels like confusion is actually clarity, forming quietly in the background. You are not stuck, you are in motion. Let the restlessness guide you gently toward change. And remember this, growth doesn't always begin with a leap. Sometimes it begins with a whisper, a nudge, a draw, or a text. You're not falling apart, you're being called forward. Listen well. This is your moment. You're not watching this by accident. The moon, Saturn, and Neptune are aligning for a reason, and so are you. Type "guided by the stars" in the comments. If you're ready to step into a new chapter of clarity and transformation, don't miss what's next. It could reveal the truth you've been waiting for. Number 7. Guidance for action. Don't force listen instead. As we move into the powerful alignment happening on July 16th at 4:16 p.m., when the moon comes close to both Saturn and Neptune, both in retrograde, you may find yourself facing a strange heaviness, a fog that clouds your motivation or direction. Maybe your usual drive feels dull, or your efforts feel like they're moving through mud. If you've been trying to push forward and things just aren't flowing, this isn't a sign of failure, it's feedback. And this moment in the sky is not punishing you, it's guiding you. The energy of Saturn retrograde, especially when paired with the dreamy confusion of Neptune and the emotional intensity of the moon, asks you not to force clarity, but to pause and listen. This isn't the universe saying no to your plans, it's saying, not like this, not right now. In today's fast-paced world, we're conditioned to hustle through resistance, to fix problems with effort and grind. But what if the resistance you're meeting isn't a wall, but a redirection? What if the fog you feel is protecting you from wasting energy on a path that's not aligned with who you're becoming? This is where Saturn's wisdom comes in, and it's not about how hard you try, it's about how true you are to yourself. Saturn in retrograde doesn't reward over-effort, it honors precision. It asks, are you moving from clarity or from anxiety, from genuine alignment or from pressure to perform? If you've been acting out of obligation, desperation, or urgency, it's likely those efforts feel exhausting right now. That's not because you're doing something wrong, it's because the timing is off or the approach no longer fits who you are. Ask yourself honestly, is this hard because it's the wrong direction, or is it hard because I'm forcing it when I should be flowing with it? Sometimes the issue isn't the thing itself, it's your current state of being while trying to push it forward. And in that light, the delays you're facing are not blocks, they're blessings. They're gentle not yet moments that protect you from forcing your way into something that isn't truly meant for you. In modern life, we often confuse speed with success, thinking if something isn't moving quickly, it must be wrong. But real growth, real alignment doesn't always look fast. It looks honest. It looks like waiting when every part of you wants to push. It looks like resting even when you're told to hustle. It looks like trusting the silence between actions and letting space give birth to insight. This isn't the season for making it happen, this is the season for listening, for slowing down long enough to recognize what's really calling you forward. If a door doesn't open, maybe it's not your door. Or maybe it's not time yet. Not every resistance needs to be shattered. Some are sacred pauses meant to recalibrate you, not punish you. You're not off track, you're being tuned to the right frequency. So instead of rushing to force movement, let clarity lead the way. Let timing unfold in your favor. Let stillness become part of your practice, not something you try to escape. The truth is, stillness isn't stagnation. It's space for the right action to rise. And in this moment, your job isn't to push, it's to trust. Number 8. Final reflection. This is a realignment, not a failure. As we approach the rare cosmic alignment on July 16th at 4:16 p.m., with the moon positioned near both Saturn and Neptune each, moving in retrograde, you might be feeling things slow down in your life in ways that feel confusing, heavy, or even unsettling. But take a deep breath and hear this clearly. You are not being tested, you are being tuned. This isn't a failure. It's not a punishment for anything you've done or haven't done. What you're experiencing right now is a realignment, a kind of spiritual and emotional recalibration that's clearing away what no longer fits your path. Whether it's certain habits, relationships that feel strained, outdated beliefs, or even long-held dreams that no longer match your deeper truth, this moment is offering you a quiet gift, space. It may not feel like a gift at first. The stillness, the delays, the fog, they can easily be mistaken for signs that you're falling behind. But the truth is, what feels like a delay is actually protection. And what feels like emptiness is the sacred clearing before something meaningful arrives. The question you might ask yourself is, what if nothing is wrong right now, even though it feels unfamiliar? Instead of rushing to fix what doesn't need fixing, what if you slowed down enough to listen to what's really trying to emerge? Many of us, especially between the ages of 30 and 65, have lived with internal clocks shaped by pressure to succeed, to heal, to keep up, to always know what's next. But now, this cosmic alignment is asking you to let go of the old timeline. You are not late. You are not lost. You are simply in a season of deeper preparation. And as the old structures begin to dissolve, something more aligned with your truth is quietly making its way in. Can you allow the detour to be sacred rather than seeing it as a setback? Can you shift from chasing speed to trusting timing? As the Zen proverb reminds us, let go or be dragged. You don't have to keep dragging yourself towards something that no longer feels right. Trust the pause, it's making room for what matters. So what can you do right now, practically speaking, while everything feels like it's in flux? Lean inward instead of pushing outward. Give yourself space for stillness. Yes, actually give yourself permission to unplug, to breathe without multitasking, and to let silence be a companion rather than a threat. Journaling, meditating, or even just sitting with your feelings without trying to fix or explain them can be incredibly grounding. This is not the time to make big decisions, especially not from a place of urgency, guilt, or fear. If it isn't clear, it can wait. Do less. Feel more. Let your energy soften, let your body speak, and allow clarity to rise naturally instead of demanding it. As you do this, remember, this is not the collapse of your story. This is the part where it begins to be written truthfully. You are not falling apart, you're falling into place. And the more gently you meet this moment, the more space you'll create for something beautiful, aligned, and deeply right to find its way to you. So trust the timing, trust yourself. And above all, let go of what you were forcing, so that what's meant for you can finally arrive freely, fully, and without struggle. So as this rare cosmic moment unfolds on July 16th at exactly 4:16 p.m., remember, what feels like confusion may actually be clarity in disguise. This isn't the end of something, it's a deep, sacred realignment. Let yourself slow down, let yourself feel, and most importantly, trust that everything rising to the surface is here to guide you, not break you. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. If this message spoke to something within you, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the Journey of Wisdom. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming insights and reflections. Thank you for being here. May you move forward with clarity, stillness, and truth.